Hi, my name is Brian and this is my week 3 discussion. First, we were asked what steps should counselors take to ensure the highest ethical standards when conducting research or analyzing published research. In our reading of our text, Research Methods for Counselor, Wright explains ethic codes provide the general public with an assurance of the integrity of professionals practicing in the field. Some of the steps a counselor should take to ensure they are following the highest ethical standards. When conducting research from a purely medical perspective, which is what I believe the prompt in the discussion was sharing our text this week, refers to the site AMA-ASSN.org for some of the ethics. These include physician involvement in research, informed consent in research, study design sampling, conflicts of interest in research, and misconduct in research opinion. And these can be found in that ethical E7 1-1 to 1.5. While all these are important, I feel the reading explained it real well further on in the chapter when it shared the need for a few things in order for the work to be ethical with regards to human research. One, there should be respect for the person. This principle has two components. Researchers have a moral obligation to acknowledge and respect the autonomy of all individuals and to protect individuals with diminished autonomy. And then 3, justice. The standard for justice addresses the need to ensure that all classes of individuals benefit equally and are burdened equally by the research enterprise. And 4, finally, according to Sue Arredondo and McDavis in 1992, practitioner researchers must exhibit multicultural competence and be in compliance with the standards of the Association for Multicultural Counseling and Development. Now, when considering using public research, I think it is important to ask a few things about the work. I would want to know if the research was evidence-based. What that means for me is 4 parts that I enjoyed reading about from the Oxford Review. 1, is it peer-reviewed research? Was their work based on trial and error and testing? Did the practitioner have experience and expertise? And finally, did the research have feedback from practitioners, customers, clients, patients, or systems? Along with this, when looking at research papers I've learned from this class, I want to make sure they are current, which means they have been published within the last 10 years. The second question in our prompt was, choose one dimension of the research process, such as informed consent, assessment of risks and benefits, or selection of subjects, and craft an argument for why you view it as the most critical demonstration of ethical compliance. The dimension I want to focus on is informed consent. While every one of the dimensions discussed are important, I came from a sense of wanting to counsel through transparency and client cooperation. And that leads me to focus most on making sure the client knows as much as possible about what is going to happen. Not only do I find it important for personal autonomy, I also understand it to be the law. Kuchar, Dean of Simmons College School for Health Studies, explains that the federal standard is that the person must have all of the information that might reasonably influence their willingness to participate in a form that they can understand and comprehend. The only problem I have with answering this question briefly and with only one dimension is I feel the dimension of informed consent is an umbrella for the area of risk and benefits as well. In the informed consent, a client should know the purpose of the research, expected duration and procedures, as well as their rights to decline to participate and to withdraw from the research once it is started, as well as the anticipated consequences of doing so. Additionally, a researcher should disclose reasonably foreseeable factors that may influence their willingness to participate, such as potential risks, discomfort, or adverse effects. It's not all doom and gloom, though. Participants may feel more motivated if during the consent process they learn about any prospective research benefits. In counseling, I've learned that confidentiality is very important. However, in research, a client should be aware that there are limits of confidentiality when it comes to the data, and it may need to be processed or shared in a way that could break that confidentiality. If there are any other incentives to the client for their participation in informed consent time, that is when it should be made aware of. One final thing that is important is also that the participant knows who to contact should they have any questions with the research. All of this is why I think the informed consent is the most important dimension, and that is why I weigh it the strongest. Thank you for listening to my discussion. Have a wonderful day.